Since the beginning of time, man has been compelled to test his limits of strength. In modern days, the bench press is internationally regarded as the ultimate test of the powerlifter. In 1967, Pat Casey was the first to ever lift 600 pounds. That record held for almost 20 years until Ted Arcidi benched 700 pounds in 1985. In 1997, Anthony Clark pushed that record to 800 pounds. Gene Rodschlag then pushed the boundary to 900 pounds in 2003, and 1 year later became the first human in history to bench over 1,000 pounds. In 2013, Texan strongman Tiny Meeker moved the mark again as he lifted 1,102 pounds. There are 8 billion people on Earth. Today, it's time. Who will be the baddest bencher on the planet?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Angelo Fortino. Welcome to the second annual Baddest Bencher on the Planet here in Houston, Texas.
The gentlemen I'm about to introduce are fabulous. Many of them have worked most of their adult lives striving for this goal. Over the course of the years, I've seen many records fall, but I think you're going to be really mind blown when you see some of what's going to happen. Every person that's been invited to this meet has benched 1,000 pounds or more. So what you're going to see are the best of the best on the planet. So without further ado, I give you the baddest benchers on the planet.
Welcome to the Baddest Bencher on the Planet. Our first Baddest Bencher on the Planet is going to be Doug Smith-Day. He is going to open up with 1,008 pounds. Every single bench presser you're going to see today is going to bench over 1,000 pounds. Openers in powerlifting are typically reserved for your easiest lift, but when you are hoisting over 1,000 pounds like every single one of these gentlemen are today, nothing is easy. So Doug Smith-Day, our first bencher with over 1,000 pounds, getting himself set up. Gets his lift off. Fast descent down. The strength is there. It doesn't look like he got that lift. Looks like he just needs to groove into that equipment a little bit better, and he will have that lift. Is Kali Italo James. He is the baddest bencher in Europe. He is the first man outside of the United States to bench 1,000 pounds, and right now he's going to open up with 1,025 pounds. Every bench you are going to see today is over 1,000 pounds. That is not common for any powerlifting meet, and Kali Italo James is getting his lift off. Now, see how he handles this monstrous 1,025 pounds of actually very, very good control of it, and he makes that look easy. Over 1,000 pounds should not move that fast, ladies and gentlemen, and Callie absolutely grooved that one. And now we have Jimmy Kolb, who by far has the highest opener here, 550 kilos, and that is 1,214 pounds. So I said during Callie's bench, all openers are going to be 1,000 pounds, so this one's over 1,200 pounds. Can be called the odds-on favorite to win this competition. has benched 1,200 and 1,300 pounds in his career. See how Kolbstrong handles this, getting his arms adjusted with the supportive equipment. The mobility is restrained just a bit. Gets his lift off. Feels slow descent down. Has to get the bar to his chest. This drains a lot of energy from a lifter. Get the bars on his chest. Now gets a press command and makes it move beautifully. 1,200 pound opener for Jimmy Kolb. And when you have to descend the bar that slow, it drains a lot of energy, and that's what you're seeing right now from Jimmy Kolb. But he has enough energy to thank the crowd. We are going to take a break and go to some commercials.
Who will be the baddest bencher on the planet?
We are back. The baddest bencher on the planet, and attempting 1,003 pounds will be Rob Merck. Getting himself set up on the combo rack here. Everything has to be perfect when you are benching over 1,000 pounds, especially in the multiply equipment. The bench shirt leaves little room for air. You have to groove into the bench shirts. And when you are dealing with 1,000 pounds, the element of danger is incredibly high. You have a bunch of spotters there to help the lifter in case they fail the attempt, but just controlling this weight is difficult. Gets a lift off, looking to keep his balance here. Gets a press command. And unfortunately, no lift there. Looks like that bar drifted out towards his face just a little bit. That bar path wasn't ideal. He's upset with himself, but he has more opportunities to hit that lift. Rob Farrell is our next lifter. £1,003 for Rob. Has multiple all-time world records in different weight classes. Ooh, unfortunately there, looks like he just grooved out of that shirt just a bit. That right arm bend, very common. Spotters did a great job of saving the lifter there, because occasionally that bar can come down at someone's face. You have the face savers there, but the spotters are incredibly important. You have Doug Smith-Day getting the talk on the hands, trying to get that grip ready. He'll be attempting 1,008 pounds. Oh, I apologize, 1,052 pounds. Muscling through that one. A lot of technique, but also a lot of strength there as well. Doug Smith-Day looks like he has it, and he does. Brilliant benching from Doug. And we have Kali Italo-James again. You get 3 attempts in bench press. Kali had a very easy opening attempt. Well, easy for where I'm standing. I know 1,000 pounds isn't easy no matter what. Openers are supposed to be your easiest lift, but we're talking about this weight. Nothing's easy. El Moncero is getting his arms adjusted. 1,058 pounds again. Real good technique from Kali. And a remarkable bench press there. We have Richard Putnam up next. The bench freak. Anytime you have a bench press over 1,000 pounds, you are most definitely a bench freak. Let's see how he handles this. There's also a massive element of danger with these multiply bench presses over really 800 pounds. That's why I have so many spotters. So these men are definitely cheating death as they lift. And Rich Putnam, the bench freak. Looks like he has a really good bench there. The crowd is into it. He is into it. That is a good lift. Now we have Tiny Meeker attempting 1,015 pounds. Tiny is the man responsible for this meet. He is no stranger to this type of weight. Many times in his career. The setups are very important in any equipped bench. It's not only strength, technique has to be perfect. Grooving into your shirt is also an art form with these lifters. Tiny Meeker has the bench, 1,015 pounds. Unfortunately, could not get that one off of his chest. He'll have another attempt at it. And you can see he's taking some time here on the combo rack. These types of bench presses are awfully draining. That can drain a lot of energy out of you. We are going to take a break.
Who will be the baddest bencher on the planet?
Welcome back to the second annual Baddest Bencher on the Planet. We have 7th grade teacher Rob Murray attempting 1,003 pounds. Elsher Beat Jersey. Him and his team are heavily involved in the New Jersey Special Olympics for powerlifting. Always great to see. Powerlifting is a pretty big impact on the Special Olympics, which is something that I think everyone will enjoy. Rob Murray looking to take 1,003 pounds for a ride here. He's also a fantastic squatter as well, one of the only men to squat 1,000 in a meet, along with benching 1,000 in a meet. He is looking for a 1,000-pound bench press here. Getting his lift off. Trying to maintain his balance. You have to groove into the suit or the shirt. And he looks like he has himself a good lift. He kept his balance the entire way. Beautiful job from Rob. And we have Rob Farrell up next, coming out of Pennsylvania. Has himself, I believe, 3 all-time world records on the bench press in 3 different weight classes. Getting himself amped up for this 1,003-pound bench press. So much preparation goes into these bench presses. You have to be focused. Your technique has to be on point. You have to have the right mentality for it. This is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. And he does a wonderful job there. Brilliant bench from Rob Farrell. Rich Putnam up next. This is liftoff. Slow descent down, handling weight very well. Gets suppressed command and muscles through it, getting cheered on from his wife and kids. And he's asking for the judge to give the white light, and he's got the white light. Beautiful job from Rich Putnam. Now we have Tiny Meeker, the man responsible for Baddest Bencher on the Planet, Humboldt, Texas's own. Very well known around the Houston club and bar scene as a bouncer in the 80s and 90s. Make sure you're tipping your waiters around Tiny Meeker. Also, an incredibly illustrious bench presser. He's a 4-time world record holder. That looks to be a good lift. As he thanks the crowd's thanking him as well, putting on this excellent meet. Now we have Jimmy Kolb. To solidify himself as baddest bencher on the planet, going for 1,273 pounds, ladies and gentlemen. If there's any man in the world who can do that right now, it is Jimmy Kolb. Kolb Strong has his liftoff. Where he takes that real slow descent down. It drains a lot of energy. Got to get that bar to his chest prior to get the press command. Press command is given. Jimmy Kolb is fighting through it. And that looks to be a good lift. And it stands on the bench in celebration. We have Tiny Meeker there congratulating him. He has the second highest bench press, but that is the baddest bencher on the planet, Jimmy Kolb. And it's not too uncommon that you lose a little bit of consciousness. We actually talked to Jimmy Kolb in an interview. We talk a lot about what it feels like to bench 1,000 pounds. Angelo Fortino here sitting down with Jimmy Kolb, the baddest bencher on the planet. I gotta ask, after lifting 1,273 pounds, I did not misspeak. That is an actual weight that was lifted from Jimmy Kolb. How do you feel?
Yeah, pretty crazy. I did this meet last year. The baddest bencher won, I guess, and placed third by like 11 pounds. Benched 1,080 last year. So coming into this one, winning it is a pretty gratifying feeling. And really happy with the weight that I lifted. That's my second heaviest bench ever. So I'm very happy with that.
For people viewing right now, I don't think it's quite understood how it feels to get into the equipment you need for a 1,200-pound bench. So describe to the people how it actually feels.
It's totally different than raw. It's almost a different sport in my mind. There's an immense amount of pressure. When you lift raw, it's just you and the bar. When you lift equipped, it's you, the equipment, and the pressure imposed upon your body. It's immense. I actually blow out blood vessels in my eyes, in my face, chest. I'm all blown out all right across my entire body, blowing out blood vessels and capillaries. So it is fun. It's great. And it's there to protect you as well, not just lift more weight. You're not going to rip a pec. You're not going to blow out a shoulder. But yeah, I would say just the immense amount of pressure is what really separates the two, on top of different technique and things you have to learn.
Yeah, I think your definition of fun was going to differ from a lot of other people's definition of fun. But a lot of people are getting into the sport of powerlifting, so maybe this whole thing is fun for them. I think as far as bench presses go, I mean, I always tell people, imagine you go into a bar, you go into a restaurant, and usually when you're a person who looks like they work out, one of the first thing people ask you is how much you bench.
Yeah.
And you can honestly say, I bench well over 1,200 pounds, and someone is going to one day say they bench over 1,500 pounds. So how many times has that happened to you?
I don't get approached very often. I don't know if I'm not a nice looking guy or what, but when I do get that question, I can just kind of laugh. I know the person's not gonna either I understand what I'm talking about or comprehend. So I tell them, you know, like they're like, oh cool man. I'm like, they don't get it, but it's cool. It's no big deal.
All right, well, for the people viewing, when you approach Jimmy Kolb, just remember that he benches well over 1,200 pounds, 1,273 pounds at World's Baddest Bencher, and we are going to see a lot more heavyweight lifted from Jimmy and a lot of other great lifters throughout the world. Thank you, Jimmy, for taking the time out of your day for this interview.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
That will conclude this year's Baddest Bencher on the Planet. We have been treated to several massive bench presses, including a 1,273-pound bench press by Jimmy Cole. I am your host, Angelo Fortino, and we hope to see you next year where even more weight will be pushed by these benchers.